Darth Vader 2015. Set between the events of A New Hope and The Empire Strikes Back, the series delves into Darth Vader's attempts to reassert his authority and navigate his complex relationships, particularly with Emperor Palpatine and the burgeoning Rebel Alliance. The story begins with Vader at a low point, having recently suffered the humiliation of the Death Star's destruction, a failure for which Emperor Palpatine holds him accountable. Stripped of his position as the Emperor's most trusted lieutenant, Vader faces both political rivals within the Empire and the daunting task of regaining his master's favor. This theme drives much of the narrative, as Vader must maneuver within the treacherous political landscape of the Imperial hierarchy. Key storylines showcase Vader's resourcefulness and ruthlessness. For instance, he uncovers the Emperor's secret plans involving the creation of cybernetically enhanced soldiers under the supervision of Dr. Silo, a rival to Vader. This subplot highlights Vader's vulnerability, as it becomes clear that Palpatine views him as expendable and replaceable. The tension between master and apprentice is palpable, laying the groundwork for Vader's eventual rebellion against the Emperor. A pivotal element of the series is Vader's discovery that Luke Skywalker, the rebel pilot who destroyed the Death Star, is his son. This revelation sets him on a personal quest that runs parallel to his duties within the Empire. A significant moment occurs when Vader hires the bounty hunter Boba Fett to track down the pilot's identity. Fett's eventual report, Skywalker, marks a turning point for Vader as he begins to piece together the truth about his past and the children he believed lost. The series introduces new characters who play critical roles in Vader's journey. Dr. Aphra, a morally ambiguous archaeologist, becomes one of Vader's most intriguing allies. Her intelligence and resourcefulness make her invaluable, while her fear of Vader's wrath keeps her loyalty in check. Aphra's interactions with Vader add a touch of dark humor and humanity to the series, making her a standout addition to the Star Wars canon. Vader's dynamic with other antagonists, such as Grand General Tag and Dr. Silo, further underscores his precarious position within the Empire. These rivals constantly scheme to undermine him, forcing Vader to rely on both his strategic brilliance and raw power to maintain his standing. The comic excels in its portrayal of Vader's sheer power and menace, bringing to life his overwhelming dominance through both grand-scale battles and intimate moments of confrontation. Whether facing rebel fleets or silencing dissent within the Empire, Vader is depicted as an unstoppable force. His mastery of the dark side and lightsaber combat showcased with relentless intensity. These sequences not only highlight his formidable abilities, but also reinforce the fear and respect he commands from allies and enemies alike. Darth Vader 2020. Set shortly after the events of The Empire Strikes Back, this series focuses on Darth Vader's reckoning with his past, his growing obsession with his son Luke Skywalker, and his struggle to reconcile his identity as both Sith and fallen Jedi. By blending intense action with poignant character exploration, the series sheds new light on the man behind the mask. The story begins with Vader reeling from his confrontation with Luke Skywalker at Cloud City. After revealing himself as Luke's father and being rejected, Vader is consumed by anger and a desperate need to understand how his son could have resisted his offer to rule the galaxy together. This leads him on a journey of revenge and self-discovery, where he investigates the circumstances surrounding Luke's upbringing and the people who kept his son hidden from him. One of the most compelling arcs in the series involves Vader's return to Naboo, where he retraces the steps of his lost love, Padme Amidala. During this journey, he encounters Sabi, one of Padme's former handmaidens, who initially allies with Vader out of shared grief, but later becomes a thorn in his side as she uncovers his role in Padme's death. This arc is deeply emotional, as it forces Vader to confront the remnants of Anakin Skywalker and the choices that led him to the dark side. The series also delves into Vader's fractured relationship with Emperor Palpatine. After Palpatine learns of Vader's personal quest, he punishes his apprentice by stripping him of his power and leaving him to fend for himself on Mustafar. This brutal lesson is designed to remind Vader of his dependence on the Emperor and the futility of defying him. However, it also ignites Vader's resolve to reclaim his strength and prove his worth, solidifying his position as one of the most dangerous beings in the galaxy. Visually, Raffaele Ienco's art captures the stark contrasts of the series, from the desolate landscapes of Mustafar to the vibrant, haunting memories of Naboo. The use of flashbacks and symbolic imagery adds layers to Vader's internal conflict, while the dynamic action sequences emphasize his relentless determination and raw power. The 2020 Darth Vader comic series excels in exploring the psychological depths of its protagonists. By revisiting key moments from his past and placing him in situations that test both his his physical and emotional limits, the series paints a nuanced portrait of a character caught between his Sith identity and the lingering humanity of Anakin Skywalker. Dark Visions. Set during the height of the Galactic Empire's dominance, in the era between Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope, this 2019 limited comic series presents 5 standalone stories, each told from the perspective of individuals who encounter Vader and perceive him in vastly different ways. By shifting the narrative focus, the series offers a fresh and multifaceted look at the Dark Lord of the Sith, emphasizing his fearsome presence and the mythos surrounding him. The series opens with a story that frames Vader as a literal Dark Knight. Stranded on a hostile alien world, he single-handedly confronts and slays a monstrous beast threatening the planet's inhabitants. To the local populace, Vader becomes a savior figure, a dark hero who commands awe and reverence. This tale highlights how Vader's actions, even when motivated by his own survival, can inspire devotion and fear in equal measure. Another standout story depicts Vader through the eyes of a besotted Imperial officer. This character's obsession with Vader borders on delusion, viewing him as an unassailable paragon of strength and authority. The story masterfully contrasts the officer's idealized perception with the harsh reality of Vader's merciless nature, culminating in a grim and sobering conclusion. In a particularly chilling installment, a rebel medic recounts their encounter with Vader during a battlefield rescue mission. Here, Vader is portrayed as an unstoppable force of destruction, cutting through rebel forces with terrifying precision. The medic's fear and helplessness underscore the sheer dominance and horror that Vader embodies, painting him as a living nightmare for those who oppose the Empire. The final story takes a more fantastical turn, portraying Vader as a demonic figure in a young boy's fevered imagination, struggling to reconcile his fear with his desire to protect his village. The boy's vision of Vader serves as a metaphor for the dark forces that shape their galaxy. This dreamlike tale adds an element of myth-making to the series, illustrating how Vader's legend transcends the boundaries of reality. Darth Vader 2017. The 2017 Darth Vader comic series, written by Charles Soule with art by Giuseppe Camuncoli, explores the Dark Lord's transformation immediately after the events of Revenge of the Sith. This series delves into Vader's early days as a Sith, revealing how he grapples with his new identity, the weight of his choices, and his place within the newly formed Galactic Empire. It offers a raw, unfiltered look at a man who is both powerful and profoundly broken as he begins his journey toward becoming the fearsome enforcer of the Emperor's will. The story opens with a striking moment, Vader's awakening after his defeat at the hands of Obi-Wan Kenobi on Mustafar. Consumed by rage and grief over the loss of Padme, he lashes out, embodying the inner turmoil that defines this period of his life. Emperor Palpatine wastes no time in molding Vader into his weapon, issuing him his first task, to construct a Sith lightsaber by obtaining and corrupting a Kyber crystal. This quest is a central theme of the series, symbolizing Vader's complete severance from Anakin Skywalker and his full embrace of the dark side. During this quest, a pivotal and surreal moment occurs when Vader inadvertently enters a dark dimension through his connection to the Force. This dimension, an enigmatic realm shaped by the dark side, manifests as a swirling void filled with echoes of Vader's past and visions of his future. Here, he confronts a twisted, larger-than-life projection of himself, symbolizing the all-consuming power of the dark side and the identity he is forging. This version of Vader, impossibly menacing and filled with raw, destructive energy, challenges him, forcing Vader to reckon with what he is becoming. Within this dimension, Vader encounters spectral figures of Jedi who appear to challenge him. These are manifestations drawn from his own guilt and fears, representing those who fell during Order 66 and his personal betrayals. In the end, Vader triumphs over these visions, but not without further reinforcing his descent into darkness and solidifying his resolve to eradicate the Jedi. The confrontation in the dark dimension is both metaphysical and visceral. It highlights the internal struggle within Vader, juxtaposing the remnants of Anakin's guilt and humanity with the overwhelming pull of the dark side. Ultimately, Vader's resolve solidifies as he chooses to embrace the power and identity of Darth Vader, fully committing to the Emperor's vision for him. A pivotal storyline follows Vader's confrontation with Kirak Infila, a Jedi who survived Order 66 and has taken the Barash vow, a commitment of isolation from Jedi affairs. The battle between Vader and Kirak is both physically and emotionally intense, as Vader is forced to rely on cunning and brute strength rather than his incomplete mastery of the dark side. This confrontation ends with Vader's victory, but not without cost, as it underscores his vulnerability and the steep learning curve he faces in mastering mastering his new powers and identity. The series also delves into Vader's role in hunting the remaining Jedi and consolidating the Empire's power. This includes his encounters with the Inquisitorius, a group of former Jedi turned Imperial agents tasked with rooting out surviving Jedi. Vader's dynamic with the Inquisitors is tense, as he establishes his dominance over them while questioning their loyalty and effectiveness. These interactions highlight Vader's growing mistrust and his relentless pursuit of control. Another layer of the series examines Vader's evolving relationship with Emperor Palpatine. While the Emperor appears to guide and mentor Vader, their interactions are laced with manipulation and cruelty. Palpatine's lessons often involve putting Vader in perilous situations to test his strength and loyalty, further emphasizing the toxic and precarious nature of their bond. Target Vader. Set during the reign of the Galactic Empire, after the events of A New Hope Star Wars, Target Vader explores Darth Vader's pursuit of a criminal syndicate known as the Hidden Hand. Tasked by Emperor Palpatine, Vader embarks on a mission to dismantle this secretive organization that threatens Imperial control. In response, the Hidden Hand hires a team of skilled bounty hunters led by Bylert Valance, a former Imperial soldier turned bounty hunter with a deeply personal vendetta against Vader. This setup establishes a gripping cat-and-mouse dynamic as Valance and his team devise daring strategies to counter Vader's overwhelming power. As the bounty hunters prepare their trap, the series delves into their intricate dynamics and personal struggles. Each member brings unique skills and motivations, from cyborg enhancements to master sharpshooting abilities, which create tension and camaraderie within the group. Their ingenuity and desperation starkly contrast with Vader's unrelenting power, emphasizing his status as a near unstoppable force of nature. One of the most compelling aspects of Target Vader is its exploration of Valance's past. Flashbacks reveal his time as an Imperial soldier and the circumstances that led to his disillusionment and transformation into a bounty hunter. A pivotal moment occurs when Valance, critically injured during a battle, is denied proper medical care and left for dead by the Empire, a betrayal that solidifies his resentment. These glimpses into his life provide a stark contrast to Vader's own journey, highlighting themes of loyalty, betrayal, and survival. Valance's hatred for Vader is deeply personal, rooted in the belief that the Empire and its enforcer abandoned him when he was no longer useful. The action in the series is intense and cinematic, with Stefano Landini's art capturing the ferocity of Vader in combat. The bounty hunter's elaborate plans and traps often lead to thrilling confrontations, but Vader's sheer dominance and mastery of the dark side ensure that he remains an unstoppable force. Landini's detailed panels emphasize the contrast between the bounty hunter's desperate ingenuity and Vader's calm, methodical approach to annihilation.